Hi everyone, welcome to Hilltop View Journals. Today we're going to do a little bit of gel printing, jelly plate printing for the 10 days of bits and pieces challenge that I am co-hosting with Inky Mia over on Instagram. And as you can see here and by my hands, I've got a nice array of pink tinged jelly plate prints, and I've just done the absolute basics, done a little bit of colour mixing with different shades using these 4 different paints and 1 pink. Well, 2 pinks, but mainly 1 pink. So I'm using white, black, Payne's grey and titanium buff, and they are the secret sauce for today's little session. This is more like a craft with me. It's not a tutorial because I am certainly no master at gel plate printing, and I'm certainly not going to show you anything new today, but I'm just going to show you what I want to do to create background papers for collaging and also then for mark making, which will be a different session altogether. So I was having a play with the pinks and I thought I'd bring you along to show you what it looks like with the blues. Now I'll show you the gel plate set that I have got, and if you're new to gel plate printing and you're thinking of investing, then this is what I would recommend. Because it's quite a messy craft, I find the bigger gel plates harder to master, and also once you get larger prints then they're harder to store. So you've got to be practical in what you're doing. So I've got this set of 3 plates, and let me just give you the size. So the largest one is about 29 centimetres, which is about 11.5 inches by 14 centimetres, which is 5.5 inches, and then the smaller one, which is perfect for tags, is about 17.5 centimetres by 9 centimetres, so it's 3.5 inches by 6.75 inches. And then you've got a lovely circle, which is great for making different shapes, well, making circular shapes I should say, and that's about 7.5 centimetres diameter by about 3 inches. And I bought a tin for them to go in as well. So the actual set is 3 assorted gel printing plates, and I got these off Amazon quite a while ago now, but I'm sure that they are still there. And then you can buy this great tin, which I again would recommend because it's great for storing them in and they don't get dry and things, and that's the storage tin. So it's made by Ranger. So that's what I'm using. And then as for paper, I'm using quite a bit of different papers. Just use what you've got, don't be too hung up about the papers. But I am using, let's have a look, I find this stuff great. Sketch pad paper, really cheap paper. It's like kids paper. Again, I got these off Amazon and it's really thin. Fabulous. I love it. It's great for using on the gel plate and it really pulls the paint off really nice. I've got this drawing paper as well. I think I got this from IKEA, but again, it's very thin. Also really good for pulling off the paint. I've got, let's have a look. I've got some, this is straw paper, I think. It's a bit thicker, so I thought I'd give that a go. Newspaper print paper is great as well. And I've also got some packaging paper. So I've cut them all to the size of my gel plate because then it makes it much easier to work on. Okay, so you do need a bit of space, and I haven't got that much space around me, but let's hope that I can show you what I'm doing. I like to do some of the mixing and putting the excess paint on you, because you don't want too much paint, and it's really hard to control how much paint you've got on you. But I want to show you an easy way to do that. So this is great. It's also great to use this as well to mix on. And what I've also got is like a business paper, a business brochure, I should say. And I've already been creating some pages on this. So I'm just cleaning off my brayer and excess paint. And this one I actually pulled off the plate as well. So these pages are great for just playing with the gel print. So that's on the side here with me. Okay, so I think I've gone through everything that I'm going to use, and I hope you can see what I've got here. I'm also using a palette knife and very messy brayer. And the colour I'm going to do now is blue. The pinks that I showed you earlier were from this Persian rose pink from Amsterdam, and I also tried a little bit of this quinacridone magenta from Liquitex as well, and that was really nice. It's very translucent, that one, so you don't get pure colour on there. It's just you know, you just can see through it. So that's a really nice one as well. So I enjoyed using that because it's the first time I've used it. So this one is Sky Blue Light. It's my favourite blue, and we're going to have a play with this one. And so I'm just going to take off the gungy bit here, if I can. There we go. And I'm just going to add a little bit onto the plate. Probably get those grungy bits on there, but never mind. So you really don't need much on your plate. And what you want to do is just give a good roll. And I'm just going to do one colour for now, roll that out, and let's try some of this straw paper. And I'm going to pop it on, give it a good rub, or you can go over it with your brayer. It's a good workout for your arm. And this is going to be pulling up some of the paint that was left on the plate that I couldn't see. So look at the lovely textures of that. So it's just great. And what I think you can also see is, I hope you can see it on the camera, but there's some words there. And that's from this brochure. Because the brochure is printed on a laser printer, it then leaves a print behind, which is just awesome. So that's not quite blue, so let's do another one. So there's lots of moving around here as I move around the place, but let's put a bit more blue on, see if I can try and get a bit of a cleaner blue. So I don't think I got enough paint on there, so I'll put some more on. I find it quite hard to control the paint, so it does take a little bit of practice, but it's probably the quickest way to create background pages, I think, and it's great to experiment. So let's try that paper again. It's like straw paper. So I've got a bit of a dog hair there. It's a bit annoying. Okay, so that's a lovely blue on that background. Of course, the different papers you use, you will get a different texture and colour shading with the paper. Okay, so that's that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to make some lighter paint. And I think what I'll do is I'll mix it on my little circular pad here. And I'm trying to use up all my paints, the ones that I've only got a little bit left. And I'm going to try the titanium light or titanium buff light with this one. And I'm going to mix it up on here and see what colour we come up with. So it's got a sort of yellow tinge. But you can get some really lovely colours when you mix just these 4 different colours with it. So, and I really would encourage you, if you're new to gel plate and you do want to give it a go, is to start small, because it can be quite overwhelming and difficult when you're trying to go large, and when you don't get it right and it just doesn't look right, it can be, you know, a little bit frustrating. So I think the smaller gel plates are great, and you can get more prints, so there's more experimenting. That's my excuse anyway. Oops. So this is brown packaging paper. Okay, so you get a lovely tone there, sort of muted tone. And let's try this on some different paper. So I hope you're enjoying this challenge. I certainly am, because I don't feel like I've got to do something every day. And if I'm not that keen on one of the prompts, I'll just give it a go and then move on to something else. So hopefully it's not too much of a challenge, even though it's supposed to be a challenge. Right, so I've got a nice little strip there. So what I'm going to do is put some paper there, and what you can do is, as you have these strips, is you can have a nice page full of strips, which is cool. So that's the strip, and that's the colour on pure white paper. So you can see the difference now if I show you what it looked like on the brown paper, and then that's what it looks like on the white paper. So it's lovely, isn't it? Just lovely. Okay, and I've got a little bit left, so I'm going to put that on, scrape it off my plate there, and I'm going to add more titanium buff light. So we'll get a mix of this one. So you can see as well, I've got lots of grungy bits now left on the side. So I'm hoping that the paper will pick that up. So let's do another strip. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do it a little bit over. So that's what I mean by the strips. And so that's really nice subtle colour then. And let's try it now with white. So I'm going to go back to my paint, my main paint. And mix in some white. Got a little bit of pink on the white, so that'll be interesting. And I can see in there I've got a little hair, I think. Oh, there it is. Can't quite grab it. I shall find it in a second. Okay, so let's put that, and you can scrape it on the gel plate then. It's so handy to be able to mix on it. And I'm going to scrape that on this paper as well. Tissue paper is fantastic for this, as well as deli paper. I've tried baking paper, basically anything. Just give it a go. It's great for experimenting. Right, I'm going to use this drawing paper that's aged. Okay. Ooh, that's lovely. That comes off really, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more white to this now. Now, I'm not doing any pattern work today, but there's so much you can do with the gel plate. I mean, it's just vast. And what I'll do is I'll link some of my favourite videos for you. Because as I said, this is not a tutorial. I am just doing the absolute basics just to get some background papers. So that I can doodle on them and just use them. Book pages, that would be great. I might actually do some book pages as well. Okay, I really like that aged paper. So let's try this again. Of course, once you start doing this, I mean, it's just one of those things that hours and hours go by. You forget to eat, you forget to drink. It's absolute fun. Ooh, that's lovely. And I want to go even whiter now, so I'm going to add some more white to this. And pretty much that's what I keep on doing, just going lighter until I've done enough. And then after going lighter, I go darker. And then because you're using the same colour, you get a glorious selection that lives in harmony with one another. I'm going to use the white drawing paper now to make the most of this white tinted paper, and I need my little strips. There we go. That's lovely. And I'm going to do one more of these, finish off the paint. And I'm going to use one of these pages. So I want to use one that's all words. Okay, and I'm just going to plonk it on. Okay, and then I am going to put on there some titanium buff. And do the rest of the page. There we go. And I'm going to put some more on there in a minute. Okay, so let's go darker. So when you go darker, what you need to remember is that you don't need much of the dark tone at all, the dark paint. So I've got my blue there, so I'm going to use the neutral grey. Sorry, it's not Payne's grey, it's neutral grey. So I'm just going to put just a touch of it on there. And mix this up. So less is definitely more with this. I've probably got a bit too much paint there, so let's take that off. Oops, and you can see that there's still some, you may be able to see, I can see it anyway, there's still some of the print from the brochure. I'm going to turn that round. No, actually I haven't got much room, I'll have to do it this way. And I'm just going to do that way. And I'm going to use the white paper. And get another strip. So there's the strip. And if I show you that with one of the originals, so you can see the nice tone there. And let's add a little bit more grey. And this is just keep on doing it until you've had enough. Probably got a little bit too much paint on there. I'm going to try some brown paper. Yes, there's quite a bit there, but it's a nice colour. So I'm going to use up the rest of this now with a white sheet of paper. Excuse me. There we go. Now I'm going to move on to the black. So same rules apply with the black. You need very little to start with, and then just keep on adding a little bit as you go on. So this is really cheap Daler Rowney Graduate paint. I think I prefer using the grey. I find it easier to control. But you get a lovely muted colour there. We're going into real grey territory now. Let's make this a bit darker. I don't want to do too many dark ones. I prefer the lighter. That's a lovely grey. And then let's go all out with the grey, with the black. Put that on there and see what we can come up with. Very messy job. Oh, lovely. And now I'm going to put some white on this to try and pull up that lovely dark colour. And I'm going to use one of the pages in this book. And I think I'll try the titanium buff to pull up the rest. Ooh. Well, that's covered it perfectly. That's great. Right, let's put white on this again. You can see quite a lot of the print has come through now from the book, which is just great. So let's have a look at what we've got. So we've got that lovely page there, and these are the greys that we've created. I love that one. That's going to look great with some mark making on it. That's going to be lovely as well. So we've got some quite muted colours, especially with the difference between the page, you know, the different types of paper that we've used. That's a really interesting tone. My favourites are the light colours. I do love the light colours. And it's hard not to make light colours. I love that one where you've got the mix there of the quinacridone magenta and the blue. So that's a lovely mix that I would probably like to try and do again. And so, yeah, that's all the background pages. And I'm just going to carry on with my favourite colours. I'll probably do some red. I've got this lovely blue as well that I want to do, which is turquoise green. And I've got this other pink here that I want to try, which is quinacridone rose. And I've also got this colour, which is gold yellow, and I love that. So these are the other colours that I'm going to try and do all these with the tones, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I've done. I've totally run out of time. Isn't that annoying when that happens? So these are my turquoise ones, turquoise green, and they're lovely, and I particularly like the ones that are on the brown paper. It just seems to be a lovely colour. And I mixed the light blue and the turquoise green as well as white, and just had a play with that. So that was a lot of fun. So that's that colour. And I also played with the yellow. Didn't do too many of the yellow, but oh, these are gorgeous. Love these so much. And I did mix them a little bit with the turquoise green as well. Again, the brown paper looks fantastic. You can see the mix there with the turquoise green, and you can see traces of it on this one as well. So that was lovely. I love that. I didn't go dark with the yellow. I just focused on the light. And oh, I've got another turquoise green one there. And then I played with the, what was it? What was the quinacridone rose? So these are really bright, wild, but gorgeous. You can see some of the gold there, some of the yellowy gold mixed in. It's a bit like rhubarby, I think. Again, I didn't go too dark with these ones. This ripped on there, so it does happen sometimes. But got some gorgeous pinks, and absolutely love those. So the next thing I'm going to do on these is some mark making, not on all of them, but on some of them, and I'll be using them then in my collage. But I will save that for another video. I don't know when it's going to be up. It may be after the next prompt. I don't know. If I have time to do something tomorrow, I will. But if not, then it'll be something that's going up later this week. But I hope you've enjoyed this really simple session of gel printing. I think you need the basics when you're new to gel printing. So I'm hoping that you will get something out of this video and not feel too intimidated, especially if you're thinking about purchasing a gel plate and you want to give it a go. So if there's anything else you want to know, please let me know, and I can point you in the direction of the artists that know a lot more about gel printing than me. But give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video, and also please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.